So I had a question about how I feed my dogs and how my program works and everything else. I just want to do a quick video to say I do feed meal times. Most of the time I do learn to earn, so especially when I need to change behavior. I want the dogs on a meal schedule. I don't want them free fed. I want them learning how to earn their food, treats, toys, freedom, and praise. So we do a little bit more of that. If they're, having some major struggles, then we don't actually feed from a dish here. So they'll eat like kibble by hand or they'll have it mixed in, basically similar to how you see it. I'll still make it the same, but I'll put it in a bait bag. But I use Red Barn dog food rolls because Natural Balance is not making them anymore, but they have 4 different flavors and it's still pretty decent price for a 4 pound roll. I also like for any dog with medications. This is actually Macy's dish here. She's got some cream cheese in there. One of the cream cheeses has a pill, and this just encourages them to kind of gulp down a little bit faster and eat the pill right away. I can poke it down if I need to, but I tend to just smear it and make it a positive experience, but small enough where it's just wrapped and she just has to swallow it down. But anyway, so what I usually do is I put the kibble in a dish. So this one's Harper's actually, but I'll add warm water, and then I'll add a good chunk of that, just a smaller chunk actually, not those big things, but I go through it pretty fast. So I just break off a chunk, I sprinkle it, I crumble it and sprinkle it on, as you can kind of see some of that, like you can hear, see a chunk. So I just kind of crumble it up, and then I mix it in with the warm water so that it makes its own little soup or gravy, and then coat the kibble. I've already done that with hers, and you can kind of see, and push that aside. Hers is soaking. It's been soaking just a couple minutes because I started and then I realized I should do a video. But then the puppies, the same thing. They have theirs soaking with their warm water, and the warm water that I put in actually kind of makes it more aromatic, so it smells better. And because it's a little bit of a treat-based food, it tastes good, and it just encourages them to eat it down right away versus, grazing throughout the day or not wanting it. So if I want them to have a meal at a certain time, I want to entice them. I want to make it a little bit easier for them to get down right away. I also put my dogs up for about an hour after mealtime, so if I know they're eating right away, then I know in exactly about an hour, I can let them out to play again. That's for purposes of GI upset, no vomiting, no hopefully eliminating bloat because of the extra activity, etc. So there's a lot of reasons to encourage for meal times. I also then know when they're sick. If they're not eating right away, I know right away that, hey, something might be going on because they're usually really good eaters. And then I know for sure if I need a vet visit or something like that. I do learn to earn programs, so like this would be mixed up if I am trying to change behavior. It would be put in a bait bag, and I would be handing out a few pieces of kibble for after every yes. Most of you who have followed me know I do concept-based training, so one concept at a time. I use my 4-step program through Awesome Paws Academy, and I want to use everything that I already give for free. To me, it does not make sense to feed your dog from a dish, give them treats, toys, walks, freedom, praise, all that good stuff, and then correct them for doing something that they don't know yet. And the majority of owners are not truly teaching their dogs the basic understanding. So this is how I teach. I give everything, everything that I give for free, food, treats, toys, freedom, praise. We start to do what's called learn to earn, and they start to earn it. So as simple as food, which is a necessity, it does work. And people who unfortunately say it doesn't work, just don't manipulate it. It does not make sense to me to give them food for free and then to correct them on a leash. So I don't do it, and I don't encourage my owners to do it. I encourage my owners to take that time, get your foods ready, get it set. It takes 2 minutes. I feed right now. Today I'm feeding 6 dogs. Sherlock gets a dry diet, but he gets some crumbled treats on top. And Skylar also has hers in there already just because of counter space. So I do have, quickly been able to process, 6 dishes of food. Anyway, the video was just to kind of inform and educate on how I do things. The dogs recalled very well this morning. They actually were playing very well this morning. They came to touch very well. Outside they came to touch. They actually did a lot of leave-its, and so I know I've trained them a decent amount already, and it's only about, I think it's like 8:30 in the morning. So or 8 o'clock in the morning roughly. So it's something where I'm going to go ahead and give them breakfast for free. They're going to, have free breakfast, if you will, because then they'll be up for a little bit, and then we'll come out and we'll probably do some group play and relaxation time. So, and then we'll go from there. But this way I know that they're going to eat right away. I can manipulate food schedules, and it's super easy then for me to plan my training sessions around that, because I know that they've had their, a good bulk meal. Maybe you go to work for 8 hours and then you come home and then you actually do your training sessions for dinner. All of this kibble, this is Argos's kibble, about 3.5 cups twice a day is what he gets. That's a lot of food. How many cups, how many pieces right there are repetitions? So you don't have to go, oh, here's one repetition. You can say, oh, here's, yes, and here's a paycheck. Yes, and here's a paycheck. Yes, and here's a paycheck. But there's a lot of yeses in that one dish that I can use as a meal to actually train my dog. So I encourage people to use what you already give them for free, but it does take some time and consistency to manipulate it and to get it to work. So that's why, come join us with the 4-step program and come join us with concept-based training for life skills. Happy to help in any way I can. Hopefully, we'll be on the road and traveling soon as well.